What up, y'all? It's your number one no nonsense discipline coach, the health bully, and I'm tapping in here, y'all. I'm just getting back on YouTube like I supposed to more consistently. So I said every week I'm gonna drop a piece of long form, somewhat content, and just talking, explaining some things, getting for y'all get to know me, and for me to speak to my audience longer than a minute or 15 or whatever the reels are on social media. So I feel like YouTube also is an opportunity for me to build, you know, a bigger audience, and I could probably relate to a few more people if I talk more on YouTube. Plus, I could just really talk on here and explain some things, and I get into some education and tips and things like that. Being as though people could, it's like a win-win. So I'm able to speak to y'all longer. I'm able to connect with y'all more on a deeper level, other than just fitness and working out and nutrition tips and stuff like that. You get to connect with me personally. I would believe, and also I get to get into the education part in some sides too. Where though I get a lot of people who DM me and ask me a bunch of questions, and to be honest, I'm gonna be straight up raw with y'all, right? Some questions I'll answer, some questions I won't, because it's like, how many times you gonna ask me the same question? Some of y'all ask me the same question a bunch of times. Or how many times how many people you asked this question and you did nothing with the information, right? So it really get to kill two birds with one stone. I get to really service people, and whoever take the information and do something with it, they get to do that. And whoever don't, or whoever asks me a question, I get to refer them to my YouTube link, right? So it's a win-win, because I do want to help. Ultimately, my goal and my job is to help, right, and to service people, right? However, a lot of people, I don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time to be playing, to keep asking questions, to keep, you know, just lollygagging. Like, at some point, you got to take the action. You can have all the information in the world. I posted this. I said this in the caption on one of my videos the other day. People will see the new thing that they feel like is this shiny new thing, right? And they running to do it. Like my bro in Miami, he posted like, yo, this high rocks thing is like a trend right now, right? And no knock to them, but it is. And I see a lot of people out of nowhere now, they training for that. Like, and it's like you didn't finish the mission you did before, and now you training for something else, and then you wonder why you got lackluster results. And then you got to step back when you think of that, right? You got to step back and ask yourself, why my life look like how it is, why my life not looking how I want it to look, and now you got to take it, you got to take inventory. Maybe because I keep starting things and stopping, and every time I see something new, I'm starting something new. I'm never really finishing, fully completing what I initially started. So that, this, like me, just like I said in the beginning of the video, this is going to be me talking, breaking some things down, explaining some things, and just getting more personable with y'all, so I can just upload it on my YouTube. So I want to start with one thing, mindset, right? And I just got a message this morning from somebody. I got two messages this morning, right? One of my clients hit me and said she's no longer pre-diabetic. I'm super excited about that, right? Now I got somebody who I've been talking to, like giving advice, and I was asking them like how they making out, and they was like, I'm not motivated, and my answer to that, when people say they not motivated, and I get this a lot, right? I get this a whole lot, but my answer to that, when people say they not motivated, is like, yo, it ain't that you not motivated, you just ain't made your mind up yet. That's all. That's it. You don't be motivated to go to work. You don't be motivated to do the job that you want to do. You don't. You know what I'm saying? I know it's times that you probably be motivated to punch your boss in the face, but you don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't happen. I don't know if that made some sense, but I know y'all hear what I'm trying to say. But the bottom line is this: you don't need to be motivated. You're not always gonna be motivated. I gotta go to the gym today, and I gotta make up a workout that I didn't do yesterday because I was out of town. I was traveling, and I was at an event all day. And by the time I got back, it was real late. However, I don't want to do it. I'm not motivated to go to the gym. However, I'm going to do it because you got to get used to this, like doing what's tough, man. if you want to make it. Now, if you want to just go along and get along, cool. Just go along and get along, and then don't complain about whatever life or whatever results that you don't have because you just did the bare minimum or you just went along to get along. That's just how it worked. No, nothing comes to. I know you. Look, we from the hood, right? I'm from the inner city. A lot of people I know from the inner city. Some of y'all may be, some of y'all may be not. However, we ran into people every now and again in the hood when somebody hit a settlement or might hit the picket or something like that. That's far and few. That's far and few. Don't know. For the most part in this world, you don't get nothing just handed to you. Some people get lucky like that, right? When they get stuff just handed to them. And most of those people you can count on, you can count on one hand how many, probably couple fingers, how many people who get stuff handed to them that actually do something with the information or the money, whatever it is that somebody gave to them. It's very rare that people take that and run with it with the opportunity. You know why? Because they ain't work for it. They ain't make a decision. They ain't decide that, yo, listen, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do for however long I need to do it until I get where I need to go. And then once I get where I need to go, I got to figure out another plan to get further or to help somebody else or bring somebody else along, because regardless of what you think, you're not the first or the last person that's going through that situation or need help or need a hand up. You feel what I'm saying? But you got to wrap your mind around, man, I got to do the work. I got to grind because ain't nobody going to give me nothing. But I think that's the first step is to make your, like you need to do is to make your mind up that you need to do something. That's first and foremost. Make your mind up. You need to do something. Start actively doing something. Don't just say, I need to do it. 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 You know how many people I talk to that's in the same position or worse than they was last year, a year before. But it's not about, sometimes, that's how the ball rolls sometimes. That's just life sometimes. But it's not about being in the same position. It's about, all right, I'm doing something about, I'm moving. I'm doing something about it. And then you got to pivot. Sometimes you got to sit back and you got to pivot and say, all right, this is what I need to do. I need to make some adjustments. I need to make some, like last night I was sitting down with my upline, my mentor, and it just, it hit me that, I'm doing everything I need to do. I could be definitely doing a little bit more. It's like me taking inventory. I definitely could be doing a little bit more. When I say more, I don't mean necessarily being more busy with the day-to-day regular stuff that keep me in neutral, right? I'm saying doing more. Sometimes doing more is doing less. Not being everywhere, not doing everything, not being on like in every little situation that you feel like got something to do with where you trying to go or your lifestyle. Sometimes you got to pivot and step back and say, yo, I ain't doing that. I ain't going there. I'm not doing this. This is what I need to be doing. Let me focus on this. Right. And I came up with a quote. I ain't gonna say I came up with it, but it just hit me. I told him too. I said, yo, sometimes you be so locked in that you lock everything out, that you lock the opportunity out. Right. So that's why, that's what I told. I said, because I be so locked in on the gym, and what I'm doing is like, I noticed that I'm so locked in this gym. I'm so doing this and, inside the gym that I'm not moving around as much and networking as much like I used to. Now, at the time we was in New York. So we having this conversation over food, over dinner, like we eating, me and him just kicking it and we eating. And I was telling him like, yo, that's what made me, seek you out as a mentor. That's what made me choose you as a mentor, because I saw how you was moving around. Yeah, you worked out, you got crazy results, you got a bunch of people, you helped a bunch of people lose a bunch of weight. But my attraction to you was your lifestyle, how you was living. You was moving around, you was in rooms, you was shaking hands. Like I'll see you somewhere running, I'll see you somewhere in the gym, then I'll see you at a council meeting or something like that, or a gala or something. Like, so that was my thing. Like, you gotta, don't be so locked in on your day to day that you forget that, like, man, how's this moving my life forward? Am I moving the needle by doing this, or am I just doing this because for the sake of doing it? And that ain't what we're here for. We're here to move the needle every day, no matter what it look like. No matter what it look like. If you decide, you make your mind up like, yo, this is what I'm doing, you're not going to care about nothing else, right? Of course, you're going to be like, I'm talking about as far as in the sense of lollygagging, playing, and, just wasting time. Nah, I'm here to move the needle. I need to do this because of this. I need to do this because of, you know. So, yeah, man, don't get so caught up in the, back to motivation. That's what I was saying. So we're gonna go back to, so motivation is like, is non-existent for real. It's non-existent. You got to do what you need to do, period. And like, again, you're not going to be motivated. You have to make your mind up that this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do, no matter what I feel like. That's where the difference. That's the separation. That's, you know what I mean? That's what that is. And until you do that, you're going to always find a reason or find an excuse why you can't. Until you make your mind up, you're going to always make an excuse or find a reason why you can't, or you don't, you know, it's just, that's just how it is. Another thing I wanted to talk about was, I think I started in the beginning where I was like, words, right? I don't know if I spoke on it, but like, it's important about what you say to yourself. So you say, I'm not motivated, I'm not motivated, I'm not motivated. It's only a matter of time before you really believe that and start feeling like that. Now, this is a perfect segue into a conversation I just had with my brother maybe 10, 15 minutes ago in the text, right? We was talking about, you know, how old, like, if somebody would have told me at 18, 19 years old that I would be 44 going on to 45 in less than a week, right? In about a week. No, about less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks, I'll be 45, inshallah. If somebody would have told me that at 19, I would have laughed at them. And then we started talking back and forth, and I was like, yo, man, like, we not supposed to be here. We supposed to have life or dead. And he was like, nah, man, when you think like that, that's like, you like kind of like slapping God in the face. He ain't say that verbatim, but basically that's kind of like what he said. And it's true. It was a reminder for me because I follow the Sunnah, right? And you have to believe, if you follow the Sunnah, you have to believe that everything that's happening was already in place. God already knew this 50,000 years before the earth was created, before the pen was created. He already knew. And if you believe, then you already know this. But I had to understand that, like, yo, I was getting away from that. Nah, I'm not supposed to be dead. I might have went through some things that that normally it would have, put a person in this box or that box, literally. However, I was looking at it as like, yo, I escaped this instead of looking at it like, yo, God brought me through it. See what I'm saying? And that was just something I had to, unpack and look at it like, yo, what am I saying to myself? Like, what am I saying to myself? Like, and it's something as innocent as that. Like, yo, I ain't supposed to be here. Hell no, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be exactly where I'm at. I'm supposed to pivot, shift, and thrive. Not just survive. I'm supposed to thrive. Being as though I'm here, being as though I noticed this, being as though I do understand and I broke down that I'm supposed to be here and I'm grateful and, it's a blessing that I realize it. Now, what do I do with the information? I pivot and I do better. You see what I'm saying? I pivot and I do better and I go up and I go higher. So it's no excuses like once you see something, you can't unsee it. Once you got the information now, what you going to do with it? So it's on you. It's all on you. And now that I'm telling this to you, it's on you. So I want you to look at it like that. Like, nah, whatever you went through in your past, whatever you might have went through, no matter who you might have lost, no matter who, whatever, it does not matter. Right? It does not matter at all. What matters is right now and what you're going to do with the time, that the opportunity that you blessed with right now. Because now if you seeing this, then you heard it. So now you heard it. It's up to you. It's your job and your duty to do something with, if nothing else, the opportunity that you got right now to be better and to do better. That's the bottom line. Nothing else matter. Nothing else matter. What nobody think, what nobody feel, none of that. As long as you living right and you got a pure heart and you moving with pure intentions, that's all that matter. That's all that matter. So that's really it, man. I ain't really want to get into, I get into like the tips as we move along and more in this content, with YouTube. I will be posting these videos at least one a week, at least once. Once I start getting it, it's going to be more, I'm sure, right? Because this is the time I really get to talk outside of, I'm not talking to a one-on, like a person. I don't really talk. I don't go live Probably should, but I don't really go live like that on social media. It's almost like a live, right? But I get to, like I said, I get more personable with y'all. Maybe the next video I'll break down my life, right? How I got started and how I got into the life I chose and where I came from, my upbringing and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll maybe do that next video. But for now, I just came on to tell y'all a little something about, you know, your mindset, man, and making a decision and not relying on motivation, because it's not real. Motivation is not a real thing. So don't rely on that, man. Don't rely on that at all. What I want you to do is whatever you say you want to do or you need to do, make it up in your mind and do it. Because until you do that, you're gonna always find a reason why you can't. Right? So that's it, man. You know, I'm out. I'm about to hit this gym, finish up my workout that I owe money from yesterday, so I'm about to go do it. That's it. I don't feel like it, but I ain't motivated to do it, but it's gonna get done nonetheless. All right.